Welcome back, Ninja community and persons that might have seen my quality statement and disclaimer video. If you haven't seen that already, you should probably go and check that out. In this video, I'm going to be covering some training methods or some Shinobi training methods. So, as the ninja language might be considered deadly, if not lethal, I will go over my quality statement and disclaimer mostly out of liability. So bear with me real quick as I go through this. Okay, for those who haven't seen my quality statement disclaimer. So here we go. The viewer understands my quality statement disclaimer video. Additionally agrees that this video could be treated as is with ballistic protection, which in short means I don't have a seal on it, therefore don't guarantee the techniques and your application of the techniques. And if you're watching this video with the intention of using any of its content and committing a crime, that is also a crime. Actually using any of my content in committing a crime is a crime. Okay, also the viewer understands that this is my intellectual property that I'm allowing others to view. And as it could be treated as is with ballistic protection, it is highly illegal to modify or sabotage and inhibit its distribution, as I am allowing other people to view my intellectual property. Okay, so getting into some Shinobi training methods. And training methods, you get the difference between a technique, if it's a hard technique and a soft technique. Now, hard techniques are typically punches and kicks, and soft techniques are typically training with weapons and or breaking at the joint. Okay, so as an example of a soft technique and training method, you get into beginner level. Beginner level is showing someone the technique. First, you let them see the technique in someone else with no resistance. You let them experience the technique with no resistance. And a lot of times, if you have a student who decides they're going to be difficult, they will find out why you don't start off with resistance. Okay, but that's beginner level stuff. See it, experience it, do it without resistance. That's beginner level. And then you start adding in some resistance and learning a little bit about some discomfort. And that's when you start getting into like just a little bit past beginner. Okay, then you start getting into either moving while doing the technique or with resistance. That's getting into intermediate. And then you start getting into moving with resistance. So you're moving around while doing the technique and the person is resisting the technique. That is expert level of a technique. Or if someone can do all the techniques, all the soft techniques, that is like expert level on training methods. Okay, now I do have a little bit to say about some training methods. Now, I sent a memo like back in around 2013, 2014, and it was about a policy that was going to be implemented sometime around 2013, 2015. And they actually put this on paper that they were going to start changing the entire Army combative system because, and they put it on paper that they're changing it because, and they put it on paper that it was because it was a highly effective system. Now think about that. That does not sound very expert level on training methods. Okay? If anything, it sounds rather stupid. And that's what I said it was back then. When I seen the videos of a less effective system that I wasn't going to start teaching people because it was against my principles to teach people how to go into combat and die, to train people to die in combat. And that was my opinion then, and it's still my opinion now. So it doesn't seem like it's a very effective system. And to be fair with that policy, it lined up with what they put on paper, because the old system was a highly effective system. They decided to start changing the military combative system because it was a highly effective system. Now, if you're sitting here thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense, and when you say it like that, like, you definitely sound like you're definitely pointing out that it doesn't make sense. Well, that's in black and white. In black and white. what it was. How they sold it, how they spun it to the people who are politicians that also pass law, that also pass military policy, such as combative system. The way they sold it to them is because prior service members, just the basic soldier, was so highly effectively trained that they were difficult for police to deal with in melee situations. So instead of training the police better, they decided to start training our military worse. And I'm pointing it out, black and white. That's what it was. I had something to say about it back then. I won't get into that. I don't want to be ninja'd for saying the truth about it, okay? But they changed the entire system because it was an effective system. So instead of training the police better, they started training our military worse. And if you look at the dates and the fatality rates, they're not going to lie to you. Numbers typically aren't going to lie. How people try to spin that, they might try to do that, but it's just not going to work if you are intelligent enough to look at it and go, yeah, you make a good point. That is not expert level training methods that the people put out on policy. You see, I couldn't really say much back then, but now, after certain times you can say things, I'm saying it now. That was absolutely stupid. And the fatality rates are not going to lie. And whatever happens on policy in the military typically happens in police force next. So, I haven't kept up with the police combative system, but I would imagine that it's the same kind of thing. It's going to be happening, right? Because what happens over here in the military on policy first, typically it follows in the police second. It's how it's always been, typically. So, unless I'm from some other dimension, but I might know what I'm talking about here. Okay? So, instead of training the police better, they started training our military worse. And look at the numbers. They're not going to lie to you. Fatality rates and conflict time. It's not going to lie. It's not going to lie to you. Now, why we're fighting in Afghanistan, I have no idea. Right? Why we're fighting over there? It's probably just to change numbers on a piece of paper of how war veterans of OEF, how there's a 50% chance that if I call someone up that I served with, there's worse than a 50% chance that they might not answer the phone because of, accidental deaths or suicide. I don't know, maybe they said something they weren't supposed to, or maybe it was suicides, I don't know. But getting to the point, changing numbers on a piece of paper, that might be why we're at war in Afghanistan over stupid policies, because that number was never going to get any better because all of the OEF veterans were already back and it was a conflict that was already over with. Okay? That is my opinion of why we're at war, is to change numbers on a piece of paper. So, anyways, if your footwork is solid, as Bruce Lee has said, and you learn a technique, you can make it yours, right? So, whatever art you use, and you implement something new, like a nunchaku, even if it's not part of your system, if you want to make it your own martial art, not your traditional art that you practice as a traditional art, but as your own individual martial artist techniques, you can build on that if you have a solid foundation to work with. Like in Silat, you have a circle step where you lift the, see if you can back up here, where you like pick up at the toe, you're on the tippy toe, and you take a step to the side, right, landing on the heel. You can typically build on that, or build on whatever footwork. Or if you have like a Kung Fu style where you do a lot of pivots, right, you can build on that. You don't have to change an entire structure, an entire system that works just to facilitate something new. Okay, now in that combative system, and I have seen the combative system, and I refuse to teach it because it was against my principles to teach someone how to die in combat. Right? Okay, so they weren't really implementing anything new or more effective, in my opinion. What my opinion might be worth, I might know what I'm talking about when it comes to true self-defense and or fighting. I might, as I had turned down an opportunity to teach that combative system or instruct people in it. Okay, they weren't implementing anything more effective. There was something new, but all it was just something for the civilian sector to understand. That was it. It was just a level system with like some, I didn't really get into that much. I looked at the combative system, the fighting style, not the policy that much, but the form that they were implementing, and I saw it as a highly ineffective system. And to be fair with them, as they had put on paper, they were changing it because it was a highly effective system, the old system. They succeeded. They made our military worse. In my opinion, that's what it looked like. That was the training method that they started teaching our military and started implementing back in around 2014, 2015. Okay, so if you watched the video so far, you should feel free to hit like hard like a ninja and subscribe to my YouTube channel to be alerted for when I do videos on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell. Okay, so also like, comment, subscribe, share, and share my videos only with people who are ninja, but not with people who ought to be ninja, because they might accidentally learn something. So until next time, stay ninja, my friends. Oh yeah, here's some advice. If you want like real self-defense, you're not really going to see it much in the sport, because real martial artists aren't going to put, you know, good self-defense techniques out there in the public domain. Typically not. And the application of some techniques, I'm not going to put it out there in the public domain either. So if you want real self-defense, you can probably find it from a war veteran of my generation. That's my opinion. Even though there's plenty of obstacles for us to try to teach or sell or show good self-defense to people. But anyways, look at traditional arts and styles, and always question the technique. So until next time, stay ninja, my friends. Stay ninja. Oh, you can also check me out on my Facebook under my artist name or my 10th ninja name, Mel-El. That's M-E-L-E-L. And I have an Instagram, but I'm not going to tell you what my Instagram name is. You'll just have to be ninja and go figure that out yourself. So until next time, stay ninja, my friends.